Hey there. Hey there. My name is Sevi. Hope you're doing well. This is my first video on this channel. It's been an idea that has existed within my mind for the past couple of months, but the execution has never been on point. Today's topic is going to be around my first encounter, kind of like a testimony of how I've kind of experienced God on my own. So it happened at a teens camp that my church hosted in December last year. We're at a neighboring country in a school for a couple of days, and we had this service. It was a powerful service, So at this point in my life, a lot had happened. 2023, the second half, I could call it rather dismal. There was a lot of emotions. There was grief, there was anger, there was a lot of unforgiveness, there was a bit of anxiety because of my exams, and it was a lot, and mentally I could feel like I was almost exploding. And then I remember I went for camp. Camp was it was sort of like a answered prayer, but also I just really wanted to go for camp. I was given the break I wanted. In the Bible, we're told that, Jesus tells us that we give our burdens to Him, we cast our burdens to Him, right? And that we'll receive rest. So that was kind of my experience with it. On the first day of the camp, we have this service, this really, really emotional service. Everyone's in this small bubble, and our Pastor Maxi told us, talk to God, tell Him the truth, don't hold back. Tell Him what's truly in your heart. Tell Him what you really feel. And what I remember, I wasn't really thinking at this point, but I remember I was on my knees. Everyone's in their own small bubble. I'm just focusing on myself. I'm on my knees. I kept tapping my chest. I'm saying, help me, God, help me, God, help me, God. And it was just happening over and over. And then as we were about to conclude the service, I remember I felt this feeling in my chest. It's kind of hard to describe what exactly that feeling was, but it just felt like in my heart a message was put to learn to trust God. And I remember after that we had this thing called QT, quiet time, to just kind of allow the emotions to calm down. It was like an emotional high for a lot of people, even myself. And I remember I went and sat down. I even forgot my books inside the hall we were in. I remember I sat down, I was pondering a little bit, and my friend brought my things. Then I just sat down there in my thoughts. I think I journaled during that moment. And it was hard. It was peaceful. I think it was the most peace I think I'd felt during the whole year. Even excluding the second half and what happened there. There was some overwhelming feeling of relief. Like I felt like this peace had just overcome me, and I was okay. All these emotions I was feeling kind of disappeared within that moment, during that whole moment for camp. Those feelings that I was carrying, those burdens I was carrying from the year kind of just kind of fell off my back, and I could feel like I could stand up straight and be confident. And that's what kind of happened during that camp. During that camp, I wasn't really afraid of embarrassing myself. I wasn't scared of being myself. I was expressing myself. I was being confident. I was being what I really wanted to be. It was just such an ecstatic feeling, this euphoric feeling. Every day I'm waking up, I'm like, today's a new day. I'm at camp. I'm gonna get this, and that was kind of my experience. And then this feeling kind of carried with me through to the start of this year, where I remember at the start of the year, after December, Christmas happened and everything. But after that, when I started this year, I was like, I need to get right with God, So I began to read His Word. Things started off pretty well. I was inspired to read the book of Job, right? Job, I knew from Sunday school and whatnot that, Job he experienced this hardship, but still remained faithful to God and trusted in God, and God rewarded him with even more than what he had. And I felt inspired to read him, and I could resonate to some degree, the whole grief thing, the whole anger thing, the whole questioning why, just trying to say, God, I want to understand why. So that was kind of my journey, and just growing with God and feeling his love, fully experiencing it. When you're a child, you go to Sunday school, it's mostly because of influence, because of your parents. It comes from within to decide to have a personal relationship with God, where you decide in my heart that I believe that God is my Father and that He'll take care of me, then that I will devote myself to Him and living a life that He would like me to live. Though I have to say, during the year, after kind of that whole January, February, March period happened, where I was really in His Word, and I kind of found my peace with the grief. I found my peace with those emotions, and I kind of felt, okay. I felt like, I'm moving up. Things kind of got a little bit shaky on my end. I wasn't reading my Bible as much. Praying, I was still praying, but it was an eventual, it was kind of like just hanging in there, because at that point, how do I explain? I wasn't really seeing God for much more than that. I was kind of looking for that peace that I was given. And then once I got that peace, I kind of left it. I kind of just left things the way they were. I didn't really pursue more, because I felt as though I was supposed to expect something at that point, right? And that's on me, to expect that God would be like, wait, boss, now that you've gotten this blessing of peace, I'm gonna give you something else. That's what I was thinking, right? And obviously, you were told, lean not on your own understanding. And I guess another example of God's word applying to my life. I thought, I should receive a blessing now. I've been in your word, I've been reading, and I forgot that I learned the year before the whole encounter happened, to be patient. So yeah, I kind of fell off a little bit, but it's just been an up and down from then on. But just my message is keep going. Yeah, God is always there with you. Don't give up. Even though things seem tough, just keep going. Connect with people, connect with yourself, learn yourself better, learn yourself through God's word, and learn yourself through how God sees you. Yet, I think that makes sense. Learn yourself through how God sees you. God sees you through it's not your perfections, but through the positives. He sees that you're loving, you're caring, you're kind, you're willing to give, you're always putting in effort. Don't see yourself through your flaws. That's where now the negative self-talk and everything else happens. So I think that's just all I have to say. Shout out to God, shout out to my church. That was just it was exactly what I needed, if not more than what I needed, and I'll never forget it. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Stay safe, love you all, have a great one. Peace.